So, this Supreme Court should frighten you, and here's why. The Supreme Court just ruled yesterday, Tuesday, February 24th, that the USPS cannot be sued. The Postal Service cannot be sued, even for malicious uh, intent purposes. Um, this was a 5-4 decision. Clarence Thomas wrote the majority opinion. This case involved a black woman named Labine Conan, uh, or Labina. Looks like Conan. Labine Conan. She's a Texas landlord whose mail was withheld for 2 years. Both her and her tenants. There was an alleged racial bias component to the mail. The Postal Service in Texas, they changed the keys, changed the lock on the mailbox, and they wanted proof of ownership, which she provided, but delivery was still denied. Even though the Inspector General ordered it to be delivered, it was still denied. And local employees also ignored the order. So the mail was marked undeliverable and returned to sender. Tenants didn't get their bills or their medications, no car titles, lost rental income, tried to send their rent through the mail, and it was denied too. Um, this case was filed under the Federal Tort Claims Act, um, which gives the Postal Service a certain amount of immunity. But the courts didn't seem to agree, gave the USPS broad legal immunity. Intentional acts are covered under this immunity. That was sort of the exception that these people were trying to get. They were trying to say that malicious intent shouldn't be covered, and I agree with that. The dissent argued this point. It was written by Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Gorsuch also joined the liberals, so it was a 5-4 decision. Um, Trump administration was brought up. They're concerned about that, and the Postal Service already doesn't want to deal with lawsuits because apparently they claim that there's some sort of they're in some sort of financial distress, which they probably are, but still that's not an excuse to deny people the right to sue somebody if they're being intentionally targeted, which is sounds like Labine Cohen was. She's a black woman, and they used her as an example. Hey, we can do whatever the hell we want, and we will, and we'll get away with it. Um, you know, and honestly, how chilling is this ruling? I mean, we've been talking about these tariffs and stuff, and that's, that has its own merit for sure. But like, I genuinely don't understand why this hasn't gotten more coverage because this is like awful. Trump said last night in the State of the Union that he wanted to get rid of mail-in ballots, and this sounds like a perfect step to do so. If the mail doesn't deliver your ballot, oh well, you can't sue them. So fuck off. Go vote in person. You know, and so they're already setting up ways to steal the midterms and the election in 2028. I mean, this is bad. This is really, really bad. Like, I guess there isn't really a hell of a lot else to say other than the fact that this is what dictators do. As Stalin said once, it's not who votes, it's who counts the votes that matters. And in Trump's case, it's who delivers the votes. And so, with all this Save Act bullshit and the the which are going to enact all these voter ID laws, make it harder for people to vote, et cetera, et cetera. They don't want to stop there. They want to make sure that people don't actually get any mail-in ballots at all. And this is a great way to do it. You got a inspector general or postal workers in states that aren't friendly to the Democrats. Well, they can just disrupt delivery of votes, and that'll work just fine. So, I don't know. It's definitely less than desirable outcome, but always to be expected. We think that the Trump's turning on Trump with the tariff rulings, and we get a ruling like this, and it's like, well, maybe the Supreme Court aren't that great after all. I think we should get rid of it, but that's a different topic for a different video. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed it. Please stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you can. Would really, really appreciate it.